Hey everybody, gonna lead you through a little meditation on having compassion for your enemies. We're not talking about just, sword fighting, shooting at people's enemies. So everyone has enemies. You've got those coworkers that just get under your skin. Even if you like them, you're still kind of at odds with them. Neighbors that are cantankerous, politicians. Some of you have some enemy politicians on your list. Even your family members that you love can kind of be an enemy at some points in your life. So the best way to defeat your enemies is to turn them into your friends. But that's a long-term process. Along the way, um, one of the things we can do is try to uh, reduce your own suffering from enemies by imagining that you can help your opposition suffer less themselves. That's one of the underlying components of like yoga philosophy and Christianity and all sorts of things. Um, so don't let your enemies hurt you twice. First, by the things that they do, and second, by building up your own resentment toward them that keeps on hurting even after they've done something. So to do this it's just a little short meditation. You'll need to be able to sit quietly. So if you need to adjust yourself to be a place you can do that, you can pause for a moment and then start it back up. Once you're sitting quietly, close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths in. And every time you exhale, just relax a little bit. Now just start to imagine or picture the person that you want to meditate on today. Imagine that they're also sitting quietly, maybe at a desk or in a chair, maybe having their coffee in the morning. And try to picture them really clearly. What do they look like? What do you think that they're thinking about right now? What are they feeling at this moment when you're kind of observing them here? And if they're a person who really bugs you, just thinking about that kind of stuff can sort of get you wired up. So take a moment to just scan your own body for your reactions. Are you holding tension? Do you feel that tightness in your chest? Just as you exhale, just let some of that stuff go. And what we're going to do, this comes from a Buddhist tradition. As you inhale, we're going to imagine that we take in the suffering of the enemy, and with the exhale, we're just going to let it go. So start as you breathe in. Just imagine you're taking in any physical tightness that's maybe they're holding in their upper back. Take a few breaths and imagine that letting go, so they're starting to relax. And then do the same thing for their shoulders. Maybe they've got their shoulders a bit hunched up defensively. Let them just relax and imagine all that tension flowing out. And do the same thing, their upper neck going up to the base of the skull, where we get those tension headaches. Imagine that you're taking on their tightness, and then you're breathing out to let it go. And the same thing for the tension that they're holding across their forehead. Take that into yourself and let it go. And also their clenched jaw. Now that they're more physically relaxed, imagine what they're feeling kind of at the heart. It's the physical feeling, but it's in that heart. So what do they have in terms of anger that they're holding on to, or pain, resentment, fear? You know how that feels yourself, so take a few breaths. Imagine that you're drawing that into yourself, taking it from them. And as you exhale, you're letting it all out. Several breaths that way. And now just imagine that person is sitting in the same place. Imagine maybe they're feeling a little more light and warm. That nice warm, like on a cold winter day when you get in your car and it's been sunny, it just feels so good and warm. And they feel content and happy. Maybe they're smiling just a little bit where you might have imagined them with a bit of a scowl beforehand. And then we're going to send them some blessings. You don't have to be a priest or ordained or anything weird. Not that that's weird to be ordained or a priest, but you don't have to be anything like that to send blessings. The good thing about blessings is when you send them, you also get them back. So this is going to be kind of a two-way street between you and your enemy, frenemy, whatever it is. So we're going to send them 5 blessings that are related to the ethical principles of yoga. So as you breathe in and exhale, imagine that you're sending them a feeling of peace, and then it's coming back from them to you, just back and forth, building as it moves between you. And then also imagine a feeling of truth or truthfulness, so that you're both able to accept reality. Reality may be that you don't really like each other that much, but you're able to accept it and not pretend. And that's a good starting place for moving forward. And then the next blessing you're going to send their way and receive back from them is one of open-handedness. So not grasping, but being ready to accept what comes their way and your way, and being ready to give it up as well. So getting good things but not holding on to them. Maybe you're just wishing for them that they can be more open-handed. And then the next blessing you're going to send them is one of obedience, and thinking of obedience from the Latin root, which means to listen or to hear. So blessing them with the ability to listen to how they fit into the overall scheme of life and your own relationship, maybe, and to know that they're an important part of that, but they're not everything. So you've got to be aware and listening to life around you. And your last blessing you're going to send them is a blessing of gratitude, so that they might be grateful for everything that they have, and that they send that blessing back to you. And maybe just close your meditation with just a wish that that person has a better understanding in general of how they fit into the world, and how, maybe why they're your enemy. And if you find that you're still their enemy, duh, how long did it take to become enemies? You got to keep working on this stuff every day. So don't be a doofus and just try it once. This isn't like one sit-up and you're done forever. You got to keep working. All right? So have a great day. Namaste.